Hello.
Alright, so my first attempt at the video kind of sucked rear, so I'm gonna try to do it again and blast through it. I was rambling so fucking much. So let's pull up the topics. I have topics here. I'll bring up Happy Christmas as well. So, since the last video, the new move that I did add was the dash mechanic, which I'm so innovative to add a dash to a 2D platformer. Who else has done that before? I added the dash mechanic, which I'm really enjoying. It's gonna be kind of a Dark Souls style dash where you use a dash to reposition yourself quickly or to dodge out of attacks. Something that's a bit of a struggle for the dash is getting the game feel right, because I can either like make it too fast or too slow or last too long or be too short, and considering the game doesn't have any animations yet, that's also playing a role in how weird the dash is. Another move I added to the game was the throw mechanic, which is a directional launch, so it uses your movement inputs to point the direction. Now, when I initially implemented it, you literally just press the button down and it throws an enemy. But that felt like shit, because later in the game I'm going to start adding terrain to like reward aiming your throw. But if, like, let's say you're like right next to a pit of spikes and you want to throw somebody into that pit of spikes, aiming in that direction meant you'll be walking in that direction. So you're gonna throw someone in and you're gonna fall in, which sucks. I hate that. So what I did instead was, while you're holding the button down, your movement is blocked, which makes it a lot easier to aim where you're throwing. I thought, if you're going to be holding down an input and it's going to block other things, I might as well reward holding that input down for longer. So I'm going to also add a charged throw mechanic. It was really hard to fully charge a throw and hit an enemy. It's like you're never going to have the right opportunity to fully charge. A good workaround was starting the charge while you're jumping, which gave me an idea of implementing a way to charge while moving, but while still blocking your movement direction to aim. So what I added was the slide mechanic, which I really love. The slide mechanic, it's so comfy. It's really fun because it adds like so many different like new combos. But I'll stop myself from rambling because I'm doing the second recording because I've been rambling too much. So you do a slide by dashing and charging a throw mid-dash. It maintains your momentum. Typically, you dash, you start the throw, but you just stop. But I made it so you dash, start the throw, and then you just like keep sliding. That way you can charge it while moving, which opens up a lot of new sort of moves. And I really like that. I wanted to give more choices for the player to do new and different cool moves. It's really cool how I came up with the idea for this slide, by the way. I drew on a piece of paper like an intended combo. So you like throw an enemy to the right, you dash in their direction, you throw them up in the air, and then you jump and follow them, and then you throw them to the side, you dash down, and then you throw them like away again. I kind of like just followed that intended combo as I was programming some stuff and as I was like tweaking stuff for game feel. Another thing I added since the last devlog was the jump. Or more than added, I just messed with it a lot. For a game like mine, I want it to be like fast paced. So the jump can't be like just adding velocity, because it would be like too floaty and too slow. But I couldn't make it too heavy either, because if it's too heavy, then it's kind of impossible to do aerial stuff. The jump took a lot of tweaking to get it to feel just how I wanted to. Right now I'm kind of settling with the idea of it's quick to go up, then you have like a small period of hang time, and then you go straight down. I'm kind of keeping it like that for now. It might change in the future, but right now I think that's like the sweet spot for how the jump should feel. So yeah, that's it for the mechanics since the last video. Now I'm just going to talk about some other stuff that I learned. One of the really big things that I learned was the concept of a finite state machine. I'm not going to go too in depth with it because I don't know if there's that many technical people in the audience. If you know how to program, you'll know the feeling of you change one thing here and 10 things over there break. But the finite state machine makes it so you can do anything you want, as extreme as you want, and it's all within the state. It's all within a state that you created, and then you just switch between states. If you're getting into making games, I heavily suggest watching a video and messing around with finite state machines. This stuff has made it so easy to make the game. If you want a tutorial on finite state machines, I'm not the best game dev, but I can give a small explanation if you guys want it. Alright, another thing is, from the start, I used the design doc, but I've really been realizing how valuable it is to use one. While you're coding or implementing something, you can really just tunnel vision on what you're doing. But writing it in a design doc form really it gives you a bird's eye view of everything. You get to see the bigger picture, and you also get to take note of things that you want to add in the future that you don't really have the resources to add right now. So just to demonstrate the point of how important it is to write things for the future rather than write things with the present in mind, I guess. I don't know. I don't have a working item system yet in the game, and it's probably gonna be a while until I actually do add that. So what I did was I made this table and I started adding items. And I don't have the item system yet. There's no way for me to actually implement these until I make that system. But I still have the ideas. Look at all these ideas I have. So you should write your ideas somewhere and save them for later when you're good enough to implement them. Because right now I'm not good enough to implement these, but I will be, and I'll be happy that I spent the time to write these down. So having your ideas written in the design doc really lets your future self look back and see all those ideas that you had. You don't want to remember everything. You're gonna forget things. And you probably have some really good ideas in your head. So you should do yourself a favor and put those ideas somewhere permanent. I've got these fucking manic ass pieces of paper over here, just stuck to the wall. They're all ideas for stuff. Being forced to write down what you're doing, it kind of does this weird thing where as you're writing it down, you start getting more and more ideas. I think it's just because as you're writing it, you're sitting with the idea longer than you would if you're just a thought, oh, that's cool, next idea. Now, a brief note on progress towards the first playable version of the game. The alpha is coming soon. I know I said I would have it by the next video in the last video, but it's still not quite there yet because I want to have a enemy that's fun to beat up, and I want the controls to be reliable. Here's the last thing. I was testing out the HP system. I think I was testing how the player dies just so the controls stop being red when the player dies. Instead of doing that, I ran the game, and instead of doing the test, I just played around with the game. I was procrastinating. I tried playing around with the throw. I tried messing with the slide, getting a feel for that, and just beating up the first enemy, which was just a square. It was just a square that responds to hits. And this moment was magical for me because it showed me that my game is worth procrastinating on. And it's not even it's at such an early stage. It's just blocks, and that's it really. It's just blocks. Another thing on this note was I was showing the game to a friend of mine. I was showing him the throw mechanic mainly because I was kind of proud of it at the time. And it was oh, okay, cool. And then I showed him different ways you could use it. And I showed him you jump, you charge the throw, and when you land on an enemy, you throw them. So you can charge it while you're moving. And he really liked that. I didn't expect him to like it so much, but he really liked it. And I'm Whoa, wait, oh, this feels good. Someone likes my game. This is awesome. Holy shit. So I'm really looking forward to making a playable alpha, just so you guys can play it and give me feedback. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you would prefer to see. I really hope that by the next video I can give you guys that. For the sake of keeping this video short, I'll talk more about my character's design in the next one, which I'm really excited. So look out for that one. Go hit the bell and like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe and like, and hit the bell and subscribe and like the video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. 1 million likes or whatever, and we'll